Hello everyone, it's Jayden for Student Pages. Hope you guys are doing absolutely excellent today. Today we have some very special guests for you guys. It is Rose and Matilda from Yee Loi. How you guys doing?
We're doing great.
Hello.
Thank you. Hi. Hello, everyone.
So, you've just released a brand new single, Down in the Bunker. Very exciting time for you guys. So I want to start there and just ask, how did that come about? How did you come up with the idea for that single?
So it was like a song that I had put together just out of what felt good to play, just like the chords that came after each other that were good. It was sort of like a Ramones inspired one, but like not like one of those on the nose Ramones ones, if you know what I mean. And then the whole concept for that song came from Matilda. Tell your story about how it goes.
So we were on holiday, and the Airbnb that we were in, it just smelt foul. It was really bad. It was just a really bad place. And so our family, we came up with a joke, a running joke that there was a dead body in the wall somewhere, and we called it like,
So we called it Uncle Giuseppe. He was
yeah, yeah.
rot. It was some kind of Italian old dude who was rotten in the basement. It smelled that bad.
And so we kind of plucked the idea from that. And so it's like, my dead uncle rots asleep is one of the lyrics from the song.
So she started off with that basically first off. And then she went and created an entire story around it as to who was this uncle and stuff like that. So it was about a girl in school, a goth girl, that gets bullied by these popular girls. And basically, in the end, so this goth girl, she lives in the basement in the bunker with her
Dead
dead uncle,
uncle.
Okay.
which is the uncle that smelt bad in our minds. And then she kills the popular girl, takes the popular girl home, and has the popular girl's body living with the uncle's body down in the bunker with her.
So it's very like horror.
It's a little bit of horror. It's a little bit frightening.
Personally, it's like but it's also supposed to be kind of funny at the same time.
Well, because
Like
it's so out there that it's funny.
it's
Do you know what I mean?
ridiculous. So it's like, yeah, just kind of gothic horror vibes. Yeah.
In the
Yeah.
cheesy sort of chainsaw sense, it's very stupid slasher
Yeah.
kind of thing.
Okay. No, honestly, I mean, I usually ask people, how did you come up with this idea for this song or whatever? And, usually there's a bit of like a personal, very deep rooted backstory. I've never heard anything like that, honestly. It's like, usually you have like sort of, oh, I had this relative.
We do have songs like that, but
It's a all
No,
yeah, all
I
like
think it's good to
songs.
sort of have the mix.
Yeah, it's a mix. They're a mix of them. There's story ones, crazy story ones like that, and then there's also like,
well, there's only so many that you can write about like personal experiences because we've only been on the earth for about 5 minutes cumulatively. Do you know what I mean? So if you write stories and stuff, you're never gonna run out. That's what Thin Lizzy did.
so yeah, we
With
like to do
just
a mix.
Yeah. No, no, I like it. As I say, it's like you gotta sort of have the width there because people become bored of, one style of music after a while. So yeah, you gotta branch out. But I mean, yeah, just generally, what was sort of your guys' background in music, and how did you decide to choose, right, we want to start making our own songs?
so we never really there was never really music around our house. It was quite a thing that I had to introduce because I wasn't into music until I was driving around in California in the back of my auntie's car. It was a summer, around 12 years ago or something now. And she had the Ramones playing in the back, and it was California. It was just amazing. And I thought, as soon as I came back from being there, I was like, right, I want to do something like this. I want to sound like that. I want to do that. And so my dad went, well, I used to play guitar. I can show you a bit of it. And he put me on it, and I was like, I friggin' hate this. This is horrible. I don't want to do this. It hurts. It's boring. And then I came back to it. I was like, oh, actually, I think I kind of might want to do it. And then it got a bit better. Like I started being able to see and play. And then after that, I was like, I don't know. We started doing our own versions of different punk songs. And
Yeah,
I did that. So
covers.
obviously I
Hmm.
brought her in to sing because she used to sing in the choir. And obviously you need to entertain your little sister.
I was like
You're
8,
in.
so I just like singing.
So we did that, and we just used to post those to the internet just because they did all right. We thought it was cute, and people seemed to like them as well. And you may as well do. And then after that, they picked up some traction, and then we went, well, if we've got this platform that we've like created from doing that, surely these people are gonna like if we, write our own songs that are not so dissimilar from the stuff that they were covering anyway. Because some of the things that we covered were kind of deep cuts anyway, so people wouldn't know that they were ours or not. So if we wrote our own ones, people would be like, "Oh, this is proper
When do we
rocking, isn't
start
it?"
writing
So we
songs?
probably started writing our own songs around when we started recording our own stuff. The first song we ever wrote was when I was 12, I think, and you were about
Wow.
10.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a song called Be Like Johnny, and you can tell it's the first song that we ever wrote, but it's still in our set.
Yeah, we still play it live.
So yeah,
Goes
um,
down well.
and then we could had no idea that we would be able to be a good songwriting duo, but it actually ended up being, pretty good. Like she comes up with all the melodies and all that stuff, and
I
then
write the
I
lyrics.
and the lyrics especially, and I, do like write the guitar bits and stuff like that. So yeah.
Yeah, no, I love it. As I say, I think it's interesting you say, you can tell what your first song was, but you still play it. That's
Yeah.
cool because I don't get people who like pretend they didn't do things.
That's what I've always said is you shouldn't be ashamed of what you've already done previously because you thought it was good when you did it. And it's a very important part of sort of the Yee Loi history. It shows us like properly at our roots. And so I would never cast it aside or anything like that. And people really like it. It's also a fantastic song. You just can tell that it's one of the first ones we wrote because it is quite simplistic, but
Hmm.
it's really good live. It
Yeah, it
really is
goes.
good
It's a
live.
good one to play.
So yeah.
No, that's great. And I mean, so how would you personally describe your music generally? 'Cause, we've established it's all a bit different depending on what track you're listening to. But would you say you fit into a genre or what?
Genre.
No, no. I mean,
We kind of
some
be.
people have done, it's quite, I'd say
Well, we say punk rock and
it's punk
roll.
rock and
That's
roll,
what we
but
say.
that's quite general
Hmm.
because you could say what was punk rock and roll and what wasn't, like the likes of the MC5, but there's been, closer ones in like recent times as well, but like barely. Because I always say, we have an album coming out next year, and it's the best punk rock and roll album that there's been in years. And that's not just me being,
Wow.
like that. It's because it's the only punk rock and roll album that there's been out in years.
Yeah, true.
God knows why. It's a genius genre. Maybe not that mainstream, but yeah.
No, I like that. No, that's cool. Honestly, you do say that. It's like, yeah, come to think of it, it is kind of a lost art form now, isn't it? It's like
Well,
there needs to be more
yeah.
of it.
Well, rock in itself has morphed completely. And then punk, when you say this is why I've never gone and said, you know what, we're a punk rock band. It's important if you had the punk rock and roll bit because if punk gets branched into all the thrash and hardcore and people who think that talking into a microphone and some atonal music crap is in the background, that's punk rock these days. Not naming names or anything like that, but it's important that we are how punk was at its roots without being a novelty sort of historic band, like making sure that we get the exact same chords as the Sex Pistols did back in the day. Nothing wrong with that, obviously. I'm a big fan. But yeah, and then same with the rock and roll because we've got a proper musicality to it within, the vocals, like the melodies, and then I'd like to say that my guitar playing was quite, it's melodic and it's not just like, oh, I'm playing for playing's sake, do you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
that's what punk rock and roll is to me anyway, and us.
No, honestly, you got a fantastic definition of it there, genuinely, and what it means to you guys. It's like, no, that's fantastic. And, there's something I'm curious about as well, because obviously you guys are pretty young to be joining the music industry. What's the reaction been of everyone around you?
Well, sometimes they don't know. They don't know how old, like, or they have a vague idea. And so when they do find out, they're like, oh my goodness, I wish I was doing what you're doing when I was your age. Or other times it works against us completely because what people see, certain people, and it's more people than you'd actually think, and different people than you'd actually think. The fact that we are young, we're girls, and we're obviously slightly ethnic, as to say. You get a bit of a mixed bag of reactions with that. We're not taking that seriously, or it's a bit too wishy-washy for
Yeah,
some people. I'm
definitely
like,
mixed
have
reactions.
you heard us play though? Do you know what I mean? And we're not that young either. It's not like we when we were little and doing stuff and going, hey guys, take us seriously. And she stood at like 4'11" or something. Do you know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah, no, believe it or not, I totally get you because my sister's Brazilian, and when she was, sort of like, I think she was younger actually. She genuinely may have been like 14, 15. She had like a bit of like an emo alt kind of. I don't actually, I don't even want to say phase because she's carried a bit of it with her to now. But it's like God, yeah, people just say stuff, don't they, for the sake of saying it. And
Yeah.
it's just so dumb because it's like, I just think any form of self-expression, no matter how old you are, it's like, do it.
No,
I just,
exactly.
it's fun, right?
Well,
Yeah.
that's when people ask me, what is your advice to other people that are like wanting to do that at your age, is you better be in it to have fun and just do it. Like, I mean, not to sound like, Nike or whatever, but like actually just do it. What, Who's stopping you? Why do you care what anybody else thinks? As long as it's making you happy. And if you're not doing it to make you happy, then you're stupid.
Yeah.
Wrong.
Would you believe me if I told you one of my next questions was what advice would you give
What advice
to
would you give?
students? Yeah, you know, it's like so you're kind of reading my mind there, to be honest.
Sorry, I'll interview
And
myself.
hilariously, you're not going to believe this. My question before that was, have you ever been affected by any bullying? Or you know, it's like, oh my God, it's like you're
Oh,
literally, you know, you've ruined me here. But you know,
unfortunately,
seriously,
I'm a bit
it's like
now.
you know. Well, you know, would you say that is your advice generally for students? Because again, I think it is students and young people that need the most steering, you know, when they're deciding what
Yeah,
route to
no.
go.
Well, especially students who are often swayed by the opinions of others and what their mates are doing and what they think is best for them, as opposed to what's going to actually make them happy. Go for it. Don't
Yeah.
have any, let go of any predisposed ideas about what you should be and you know who you are, like who you should be and what you should do and stuff like that. And if you like it, do it. Like if we wouldn't be making the music that we make now if it wasn't to appease us. If we wanted to make music that actually made us like super successful, famous, rich and famous, whatever, we would not be making punk rock and roll music. Because it's like we spend our lives now trying to convince people that like, oh, you should listen to this. You know, you will actually like it. Don't be put off. I'm sure you'll actually like it. Be open-minded. So yeah, that's my
Hmm.
advice. Don't think
Yeah.
about it too much and go for it.
No, that's great advice, honestly. And I mean, so, you know, on a similar note, what would you say has been the biggest challenge of all of it so far for you guys?
Definitely, well, some of the stuff we already talked about, but we've also been talking more recently about like social media, having to rely
Mm,
on it so heavily is just draining, like having to just churn out TikToks all the time, which is, yeah,
I know
that's how the game works now, but it can be like,
I
yeah,
did an analogy on that in an interview recently. So something like you've got to be the leader of the company and the truck driver at the same time. You've got to supply the goods and create the goods. All you on your lonesome. And you have to be pretty shameless about it as well. Hi everybody,
yeah.
just wanted to let you know that I have a new single out. Like it's just that all over and over and over again. But you just, you got to do it.
Yeah, of course. And it's that thing about passion, isn't it? You know, it's like if you genuinely love what you do, it's like, you know, you're gonna find ways to make it work, you know,
You
because
never know till the
again,
end of
yeah, yeah, well, you do and you don't, you know, because like you say, you know, with this whole social media grind, you know, it's a nightmare, isn't it? But I mean, how do you balance it all? I think, you know, this is sort of my last general question is, you know, with everything you've got coming up, everything you've got coming out, how do you balance it all amongst just day-to-day life?
It does often collide. It does actually.
Yeah?
yeah.
I wouldn't say that it has affected, either my, obviously academic life or
Yeah.
social life or anything like that. We seem to do a pretty good job at balancing it, and we always have done as well. Because I've been doing this, I did this band stuff all the way through my school career. I'm in university now, and I'm balancing it just fine. And same for you.
Yeah, it's just we just make things work around like, oh, if we want to go out or whatever, we'll say, oh, we're doing it this then. Oh, so do film the music video or whatever we're doing. We'll do this then. Like
So
it
that
all works out in the end.
And obviously this is for students, isn't it? It's like if you think that you can't balance it, just
Take
just
it,
take it down,
yeah.
look at it, and there's always time. You will find
Yeah, don't
time
rush.
for it. It's fine.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? So yeah.
Yeah. No, honestly, I rate the grind, guys. Honestly, it's like I think it's awesome what you're doing. You know, being able to, like I say, you know, all this going on in your life at the minute, and you're still finding a way to, you know, bring your passion through and stuff and get it out there. And again, you know, you're getting such good reception online from what I've seen as well. It must feel awesome.
No, it does. Oh, no. Keep it coming.
Yeah, you hear people say it's like, oh, you know, I try not to pay attention to that stuff. It's like, oh, shut up. Yes, you
Oh,
do.
I
You
do.
know,
Oh, I
it's
love it.
wonderful.
Tell me more.
Yeah.
And the bad
Right.
stuff too. Tell me more. I want to know.
Yeah, constructive criticism, you know, you got to take it, aren't you? But no, honestly, as I say, guys, thank you ever so much for this. As I say, you're doing amazing, and it's been an absolute pleasure talking to you.
Thank you.
Thanks so
Thanks for
much.
having us.
Anytime.